Good morning, everybody. This is Adrienne Montgomery with ERP VAR. Today I'm joined by Fay Business Systems. Kimberly Douglas is here with us to talk about the Sugar CRM QuickBooks integration. We're going to get started in just a few minutes, but we're going to let some latecomers arrive here. We're going to start off with some housekeeping notes. There's a raise your hand button right next to your name. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, we have quite a few people registered, so we'll probably reserve the questions to the end. If you're thinking of a question that you'd like to ask, go ahead and click on the question mark right next to your name and type in your question. And if it's something that's real applicable to what we're talking about right at that moment, we'll read your question live at the next break-in slides. But if it's something that can be addressed at the end, we'll go ahead and reserve those questions for the end of the presentation. We have Kyle Lowry with us on the phone as well, who will be helping with the question and answer session. And we're real excited about this integration. The two market-leading companies in Sugar CRM and QuickBooks, market-leading software packages, QuickBooks being the back office accounting application and Sugar CRM being a real powerhouse front office open source CRM application, bringing two highly functional applications together that are very easy to use. And Kimberly, I'm going to go ahead and let you get started without further delay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Adrienne, for the great introduction. Good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Kimberly Douglas. I am an account manager at Fay Business Systems Group. Our company has been around for over 25 years. We are a Sugar Gold partner. We're a leading provider of sugar integrations, including integrations with Sage, Intact, Vantage, QuickBooks, Authorize.net, and Constant Contact. Our entire team, including programmers and support, is located in Woodland Hills, Southern California, and we continue to do many successful implementations for CRM and ERP software. As a company, we offer many services as outlined here: training, implementations, integrations, custom solutions, support, data conversion, and custom programming and software development. A little bit about Sugar. They are the fastest growing CRM company in the world. You can see the different stats here. It's been downloaded over 10 million times. There are over 1 million users, and it's sold and used worldwide. The software can be hosted in the cloud with Sugar or a third party, or you can have it on-premise on your server. Because it's open source, it's incredibly customizable, and there's essentially nothing that can't be done to tailor it to best fit your needs. Sugar is also cost-effective. Intuit is the leading provider of accounting and ERP software to small and medium-sized businesses. There are more than 4 million customers worldwide, and their software includes accounting, warehouse management, and many more. The QuickBooks integration works with QuickBooks Pro, Premier, and Enterprise editions. It works with Sugar regardless of where Sugar is hosted, and the sync is on a scheduler. So we automatically set it to every 10 minutes, but you're able to adjust it to best fit your business needs. The main features of the QuickBooks integration include synchronizing customer data between Sugar and QuickBooks, inventory items syncing from QuickBooks to Sugar, sales history by product, as well as their invoices with detailed line items syncing to Sugar. Also, it syncs quotes and orders into QuickBooks estimates and sales orders. Some of the new advanced features of the product include synchronizing multiple ship-tos, inventory quantities by location, and more. And you can also customize the mappings between the products depending on your needs. Here is my contact info. I'll make sure to come back to the screen after the demo so that you can have plenty of time to jot everything down while we're doing the Q&A. Now let's get into an actual demo of the product so you can see how the integration works. Our integration requires 3 main components, and there's Sugar, which you can see the home page on my screen right now. There is QuickBooks, which you can see right here, as well as the QuickBooks Web Connector, and that is right here. The web connector would be installed on any computer running QuickBooks. We, of course, provide you with the detailed instructions on how to install it, but it's pretty straightforward. So let me start by taking you to the admin screen so that you can see what actually gets installed in Sugar. And this will help to give you an idea of how the integration actually works. So scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and you see two functions here. There is the QuickBooks Integration Configuration and the QuickBooks and Sugar CRM Field Mapping. So we'll click on this first one for the QuickBooks Integration Configuration. Here you will enter a product key right up here, which we will provide, and this will also tell you when the key expires. Right down in the middle of the page, you will type in the URL for where your Sugar is running. The Configuration tab at the top has a few important questions. The first question is going to ask which master data source you want, so either QuickBooks or Sugar. This is important in case there's a conflict of information, then one will take priority over another. For demonstration purposes, we are going to put QuickBooks as our master. And below that down here, you can see the Sugar CRM and QuickBooks, and then there are line items underneath. And here you can decide which integration points you actually want syncing between QuickBooks and Sugar. So I have accounts and customers checked, sales reps to salespeople, quotes to estimates, invoices, sales orders, invoices and sales receipts to sales histories is checked, and so on. So again, it can be customized based on your business needs and preferences. And there's also some options for the advanced configuration, which you can go through up here as well if desired. Okay, so now let's take a look at how the product actually works. Starting out on the home screen of Sugar, this page is very customizable depending on your job responsibilities. It's meant to be where you spend most of your time, so you can have all of the information that is most pertinent to you on one screen, such as reports. Down here you can see some calls that you need to make and more. Also, you can see here under My Top Accounts, there's year-to-date amounts, and this information is actually coming in from QuickBooks, so it makes it really easy to keep track of your sales that are closing. Up here towards the top, there is also a dashlet which is called Collections, and likewise this has customers with outstanding balances, and all of the information is getting imported directly from QuickBooks. So you know it's up to date, and it makes it really easy to be efficiently followed up on in Sugar. There's some more information that you can see on the home screen here that I will get to in a little bit. Let's click on a customer. And so for demonstration purposes, I'm going to type into our search, customer Ryan Smith, and you can see he pops right up. So once clicking on his account, you can see his contact information. So it has his name, office phone number, billing address, email address. It would also include the other information down here, such as the sales history, product sales history, shipping addresses if there are multiple ones, contacts for the company, as well as quotes. And again, this is all coming in directly from QuickBooks. Let me go back over to QuickBooks so you can get an idea of how to make an address change. Up here under Customers, we will type in Ryan Smith right here and click on his information. So we will update his address, and we will do right down the street from us, 1774 Lemon Grove Avenue. And we can do Ventura, California, 92001. And then you simply click OK. And then we would pull up the web connector and update selected. So again, our scheduler is set up to sync in 10 minutes. However, doing it manually will allow the sync to occur quicker. So while that's syncing, let's pop back over to Sugar. And let's look at the sales history subpanel. Since Ryan doesn't have any, let me pull up another account. so we can get an idea. Okay. All right, so Brian Cook has a number of sales history items in here. And again, it has all of the applicable information like invoice number, date, due date, and the sales total amount. If you click on one of these invoices, it will actually give you more detailed information as well, such as the sales date, the due date, ship date, and then message to the customer. And then you can also see the detailed line items on what is coming in from QuickBooks. Let's pop back over to Ryan to see if the address has updated. Okay, wonderful. So it just took a couple of minutes to do that, but you can see the updated billing address now synced in Sugar. So we know that we have all of the correct information in QuickBooks as well as in Sugar. Let us pop back over to QuickBooks to give you another example. Let's actually do an example of a quote. So if we go right down here to create a quote, click on this amount, and then for the quote subject, we would type in whatever is relevant. So let's say he's doing a remodel. And what is important is for the quote stage, and you can see the drop down right here. It says QuickBooks Estimates, QuickBooks Invoices, and QuickBooks Sales Orders. And this is what is communicating to QuickBooks that it should be updated in the next sync. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to click QuickBooks Sales Orders, and then we will update the payment terms to net 30. And then let's put in a couple of line items down here so that we know what the invoice is actually for. Okay, so we can choose door frame. And you see right down here there is a QB in green, so that is actually telling us that it is a product that is listed in QuickBooks, so we know we're all set. And then we'll just enter in a unit price. And then let us do another item right down here. And we'll do the installation for it. Say that's $2.99. Okay, and just want to make sure that I have all the information correct. We'll do the valid to date as well. And then click Save. Okay, great. So after we save this, let's go back to our QuickBooks Web Connector. And again, we will click Sync so that we can get the information sent over quicker. Also, when the Web Connector is working, you can see the green bar right along the bottom here, which gives us an update on where the sync is at, so that's really helpful. Once it's synced, there will be a box that becomes checked right on the quote, and it will give us the QuickBooks sales order number for easy reference. While we are syncing, let's pop back over to the admin screen so that I can show you a couple of things with the product catalog. So right here, this will give us an idea of the inventory items that we have. And this is all sortable. So if we want to sort by quantity on hand, you can also see quantity sold, year-to-date dollar amount sold, the cost, and the list price. And these are all custom fields from QuickBooks. So by having these in Sugar, you can also, of course, run reports to give you a really good idea of your business. All right, let's jump back over to QuickBooks. And first, let's see if our quote has updated for Ryan. Go right down here. Okay, so right here you can see in the middle of the screen it says Sync to QuickBooks, and then there's also a QuickBooks sales order number. So if we go over to QuickBooks, then we can verify that sales order number. And we can see it right here. Okay, so you can again pull up the line items to see what we entered. It has the tax information as well, and the tax information that is in Sugar, of course, is directly coming from QuickBooks as well. And right down here, you can see under Memo, there's the Sugar quote number 54 for easy reference as well. Okay, so let us click out of that, and let's go back over to Sugar and back to the home screen. And you can see again on the right side of the screen here, there's a dashlet titled My Favorite Reports. So again, these reports are set up based on the information that is imported from QuickBooks. Let's open Sales by Account by Item. And just to give you an idea of how you can set up the report, along the top, this information you would specify based on your preferences. It also has specific runtime filters that you can set up if you would like to narrow down the report further. So it says year-to-date dollars sold. You could enter in a particular field there. And right here it says contains, again, there's a lot of specific fields that you can enter here. You could do an account name, you could do a specific kind of product, etc. So we really like this because it's pretty undemanding to run reports in Sugar. And having this information here brings up many more capabilities of data that you would want to delve into using your CRM. So the last feature that I want to share with you today is the mappings. So let's go back to our admin screen, and we will click on the Sugar CRM and QuickBooks field mapping. And you have two columns here. Sugar is on one side and QuickBooks is on the other side. And again, the arrows show the direction in which the information is being synced. So if you go down to the bottom here, you see this green field, and this is where you can enter in custom fields. So if I want to have mapping, say, between last year to date sales and then year-to-date sales, and then we click Add, and it would be updated. So it's really that easy. And the integration itself is pretty straightforward. Hopefully at this point you can see how you save time by not only doing data entry into both systems, and it's really very easy to make sure the information that you have is correct and easily updated. So at this point I would like to open up for some questions. And again, we do have our developer Kyle on the line with us.
Thank you, Kimberly. And Kyle, we do have a question. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us. We have a question. My application is for a services-based solution that issues multiple invoices for billable hours against a sales order. Can you show how this would work?
Yeah, we can't actually show that at the moment, but it would basically work in the standard way. You have multiple invoices associated to a billing account. Those will go right over into the Sugar CRM sales history module, where you can see all those invoices, as well as PO number field, sales order field, so on and so forth.
And while the audience is thinking of more questions, I do have some polls I'd like to launch, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Are you interested in learning more about the Sugar CRM QuickBooks integration? If we could take a moment to answer that poll. And if you do have any more questions, please click on either the raise your hand button next to your name or the question mark. If you click on the raise your hand button, I will attempt to unmute your line. It looks like everybody indicated their PIN into the webinar, so we will be able to hear you if you feel comfortable raising your hand and speaking live. If you feel more comfortable texting your question in, go ahead and click on that question mark and indicate your question manually. Yeah, I see 85% of you have voted on this poll. And we do have another question. Will you provide a link to the webinar after? Yes, we are recording this. So we're going to have two versions of our recording. We're going to have just a presentation, the entire presentation, and then the demo portion as well. So we'll have a short version and a longer version. Well, the longer version immediately available after the webinar, and the shorter version in a couple days. And then I'm going to go ahead and close out that poll and share the results. Looks like 73% of you are interested in learning more. And then we have another question. Thank you so much for your questions, everybody. Dan, is your solution hosted on a server, SaaS?
Yeah, so the QuickBooks integration will work with any instance of Sugar CRM, so you can host that on-premise or you can host it using Sugar on Demand. Of course, you can use any of the other cloud hosting providers available for Sugar CRM. The integration itself uses the Intuit Web Connector. So you basically just have that running on a machine at your office, or if you're using hosted QuickBooks, you can have it running on your hosted cloud QuickBooks instance, and it connects to your Sugar CRM instance, wherever that is. So you basically host the step yourself. You can have it hosted on the cloud, but it's not dependent on FABSG to actually host the integration for you. So it's a lot of flexibility there.
And I just wanted to make everyone aware, I do have another poll up on the screen while we ask the additional questions here. Are you currently using Sugar CRM? If you could take a moment to answer that question. And Kyle, we do have another question. Do companies typically incur additional costs in completing the integration? Thank you, Kevin, for your question.
Yeah, no, not typically. We offer implementation services, so we can definitely get that implemented for you, and we will take the time to sort of learn a bit more about your business and actually get all of your fields configured and kind of map those out for you there and run a few test syncs, so on and so forth. So typically, all problems get solved within the installation period.
And then I'm going to go ahead and share the results of that last poll. It looks like 55% of you are using Sugar CRM and 45% aren't. And we have one more poll while you're thinking of new questions. Are you currently using QuickBooks? And then while we're answering that poll, we have another question. So the initial cost of $1,499 covers the integration costs. Thank you, Kevin, again for your question.
Yes, so the base integration price is $14.99. We do offer implementation services, which includes complete configuration and the setup and so on and so forth, as well as I believe it includes a little training there for $500. And we can certainly offer other kinds of customization services if you need them.
And as I understand it, you are a provider of Sugar CRM. Do you also provide QuickBooks at Fay?
Yeah, we can certainly resell licenses. Yeah.
Okay. Can you create custom reports in QuickBooks and get that data into Sugar CRM?
The integration doesn't support custom reporting at the moment, but that has been a feature that's requested a lot, so we're looking to including that in the future release. You can certainly create custom reports in Sugar CRM using data that's been brought in from QuickBooks. At the moment, you can't create custom reports in QuickBooks and have that go right over to Sugar CRM, but we are definitely looking into that.
Perfect. Thank you, Dan, for your question, and Kyle for your answer. And I don't have any more polls. I'm going to go ahead and close out that poll and share the results. It looks like 67% are using QuickBooks that are on the call today. Thank you, everybody, for answering those polls. I want to make sure I've got everybody's question. If I didn't get your question, can you please use that button next to your name for the raise your hand, and then it'll allow me to know that it looks like I got all the questions, but I want to just make sure. Okay, it looks like we have another questions. What editions of QuickBooks does this work with?
Yes, so this will work with QuickBooks Pro, Premier, works with QuickBooks Enterprise, and it has support for the Advanced Inventory plugin of QuickBooks Enterprise. Of course, all of those versions of QuickBooks also have other editions like Manufacturing and Wholesale and Services Edition, and it is compatible with those as well.
And is there any future plans for the online edition?
Yes, we're definitely pursuing developing integration for QuickBooks Online Edition using QuickBooks Online Services and the Online API. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon within the next year or so.
And then we just need some clarification. Is there a software cost in addition to the $1,499 setup cost?
Well, the $14.99 is for the integration software itself.
Okay, so there's no additional costs on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you want us to do all the setup and configuration and a little bit of training for you, then that's the $500 implementation cost.
Okay.
Which is optional.
And then after the initial implementation cost, is there an annual renewal fee?
Yes, that would be $14.99 annually.
Does this work with multi-currency, with the multi-currency version of QuickBooks?
We're actually working on multi-currency support right now. It's not present in the integration at the moment, but we are hoping to get that in very soon.
And then does this work with the Canadian edition?
We're also working on the Canadian version right now. We've had a lot of demand for that.
Okay. And Kimberly, could you bring up your contact information? Do you have that easily available for us?
Of course. Yes, give me just a moment.
And then Kimberly, you are the point of contact at FAY, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So if I'm in Canada using the multi-currency version, I would need to wait to move forward?
Yes, we would be able to get that implemented in probably a few weeks from now. So it is coming up pretty quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin and Nathan and Regina, for your questions. And then another question, Kevin, same cost?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay.
Same cost.
And then we'll take a moment. Okay. And Kevin says thank you. Any other questions? So Kimberly, looks like your phone number is 818-227-5112.
Yes, that is my direct line.
And then Kimberly.Douglas, DOUGLASS at FAYEBSG.com.
Mm-hmm.
And are you going to be at any conventions coming up? I know that you guys are quite active in trade shows and so forth.
We definitely will be. There's a couple that are coming up in Las Vegas in October and November. Sooner than that, not that I'm aware of yet.
You participate in this leader conference, correct?
Yes.
And then the Scaling New Heights, I believe, as well?
I believe so. We are still determining whether or not we will be involved in those conferences, however.
Okay. All right, well, everybody, well, thank you so much for participating today and joining us. We really appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Kimberly. Kimberly will be in touch with all of you. And we will send the recording, the link to the recording. It'll be YouTube very shortly. And Kimberly, did you have anything else you wanted to close out with?
No, but again, if anybody does have any specific questions, I would be happy to assist, so you can either call me or email me anytime.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, again. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week and Memorial Holiday. All right, take care. Bye-bye.